it is an evil assertion. And I say not just a bad faith problem, because sometimes people say, well, you know what? They lied. The Project 2025, Trump said he didn't know anything about it when he was running for campaign, right? I don't know anything about this Project 2025. And yet, the first day he is out of in office, he decides that he's going to follow many of the things of the Project 2025. So it's not just bad faith, because sometimes when you say bad faith, what that means is that a person may be sincere. Sometimes people say, you know what? They told a lie, but they are sincere. Well, sincerity is not enough when you're telling a lie that you know is a lie. And that's why I call it an evil assertion. And I'm going to talk about some of these evil assertions today, because lying creates the possibility of disappointments. It's just like, when you look at what happened in the previous election, when the Arabs in Michigan heard Trump talk, they said, well, we're not going to go for Kamala Harris. We're going to go for Trump because Trump is the person that we know will do things right by us. And the first thing Trump has said to Netanyahu is, I want you to clean out all of Gaza. Clean it out. You don't need anybody there. Just clean it out, and Israel take charge of it. So it may have been bad faith the way he went to the people in Michigan, but the people in Michigan bought it. And when they bought it, we see the evil assertion that was behind the whole political operation of the Trump people when they went to this particular community and told this community certain things. And they said, well, we think that we have a better shot with Trump. Well, we know that that's not true. And that's why there are so many disappointments. There are a lot of African Americans who are disappointed, those who voted for Trump, those who felt like Trump would be a better candidate, a more serious candidate, a more seasoned candidate than Kamala Harris, which, of course, I don't even understand how they thought that, but they thought it. There were some that thought it, and now they're crying. And they are saying, oh, I didn't know that my job was going to go. I didn't know that he was going to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And not only did he say to the federal government, get rid of it, he said, if there are people in office who know something about it being changed to be something else, they need to report. And if they don't report, they could be fired as well. So no, we are in, as Dr. Jabali Ade said, we're in tough times, but we are tough people. And we have been through tough times. And you look at our people all over the world, globally, whether you're talking about Burkina Faso, or whether you're talking about the people who are going through things in Mali, or Niger, wherever you're talking about, in Senegal, the African people have gone through hell. And we have gone through a lot of it, but we have always stood proud because we understand that in the end, victory on these things is certain. So, but lying will ultimately be revealed as a lie. And this is what is happening with the, unfortunately, fortunately for us, with the administration that's now in office in the United States of America, African American people are very clear, and we're clear-eyed people. And we're clear-eyed people mainly because of our experiences here in this society. And growing up in Georgia, I experienced so much racism and so much discrimination that it was clear to me that one of the things that we had to do was always be on the side of resistance. And the resistance to all kinds of discrimination is what has defined the African American people. And that's why all over the world, wherever I travel, whether it's in Asia or Europe or in South America, On the African continent, people look to the African Americans as an example. And they look to the African Americans as an example of people who stood up and who fought against all forms of oppression. So this is where we are. And one of the things that I always believe is that when you have a society that lies to itself, then it would be a defensive society. They would try to defend the things that they lie about. And it will always be a non-compassionate society. And this is why you're seeing people trying to go into schools and going onto people's jobs and rounding up immigrants. And this is a very, very weird situation, if you ask me, because, and I'll explain it all in a minute. I'm going to lay it all out for you. But if you are a society that lies to itself, you'll be a mean-spirited society because you will believe your lies. And it will also, you will create enemies within your society and enemies without your society. And in fact, you will have a failed society if you believe in the lies. If you lie to yourself, you believe in those lies, you will have a failed society. Now, when the Europeans arrived in America, there were people here. They didn't arrive in a land where there was nobody on this territory. They arrived here, there were people. And the people who were here had been here for thousands of years. They had their own government. They had their own politics. They had their own society. There were people here, right where we are sitting now, this Germantown Avenue. This was they call it an Indian trail, but it was an Indian pathway from the interior of Pennsylvania down to the Delaware River. That's what this, and they just built a street, but that was the Indian trail. That's what that was. And so there were people here, you see. And when the European arrived in this, and this is y'all listen to this carefully. This is what they are fearful of. And this is what the Trump people are fearful of. And I say the Trump people because I don't want to speak in generalities and say all white people, but certainly those MAGA people with the Trump administration, they worry and they write about what they call the replacement theory, that the immigrants will not replace us, that the Jews will not replace us, that the blacks will not replace us. What did they do? They removed the First Nations people. That's a real replacement. They came into this land and removed the Native Americans. Complete genocide for the most part. Wiped those people out and then put a government on top of their land. That's the reality. That's the fact. They don't teach that in history. They just say, well, the Pilgrims came. Now, wait a minute. No, the Pilgrims didn't just come like that.